Hello, my name is David Yester. I'm one of the historical interpreters here at the Old Barracks Museum. Today's question comes from Andre from Beckton Regional High School. Their question was, did Americans and Hessians remain enemies after the end of the war? Now first we have to understand who the Hessians were. When the war began in 1775, the British found that their army was just too small to deal with the conflict. They'd always kept a very small army for a number of reasons, mostly down to that they didn't trust armies. They thought of them as being very dangerous things that were used by tyrants to overthrow good governments and replace them with bad governments. So the British kept a tiny little army. The bulk of their effort was in their navy, which makes sense given that they live on an island. And their army was just too small to deal with the war when it began in 75. So they rapidly began to expand it by raising new recruits, expanding regiments, but it was never quite enough. They had to find some other help, and so they turned to Europe. Now we have to understand what Germany was, because Germany wasn't a country in the 18th century. It was just a part of Europe that all the people living there happened to speak German. Now, there was 200 different states in what we might call Germany, all of them independent from one another. Some of them were big, like Prussia, which could go toe-to-toe at war and diplomatically with other European powers, but others were rather small, sometimes scarcely bigger than a city. And though most of them kept armies are really expensive, and some of them struggled to maintain them even though they had to keep themselves afloat in a war-torn Europe. Now, the British basically offered to rent their armies for a period. They would pay for the army while they were using it. They'd pay an extra fee for each individual soldier. And so many of those individual states, as cold, as almost calculated as it seems to be, not really thinking about the individual lives of the soldiers, basically rented their armies to the British. Now, those soldiers came from all over Germany. They came from Brunswick, from Waldeck, from Ansbach-Bayreuth, from Hesse-Kassel, and Hesse-Hanau. Now, most of them came from the region of Germany known as Hesse, and so they became collectively called the Hessians. Now, if you called a Brunswick or a Hessian, they'd be pretty mad at you, but that's what happens when you don't send quite as many as the Hessians did. Now, they fought pretty well here in America. They earned a reputation for being well drilled, for having excellent discipline. Their officers were very good. But they also had a reputation sometimes for being prone to plundering, for committing other crimes. But when the war was over, many of those Hessians decided to stay in America. There were big populations of German speakers in places like Pennsylvania, so they found easy places to fit in. One Hessian sergeant, who was captured here at the Battle of Trenton, ended up staying and became a sheriff of a Pennsylvania town. We still have something that he created, these Fraktur, or a kind of German paper folk art, and he made them in the 1790s as gifts and as tokens to others. But he had been a Hessian. He had been fighting here at Trenton, and after the war, he became an American. Thank you for your question, for allowing us to help bring history to life together.